Today we'll try and understand two important concepts, that is strict liability and absolute liability when it comes to law of torts. When it comes to law of torts, it is one of the branch of law in England, common law, and it is very developed in England but not so much in India. And when it comes to law of tort, it deals with the wrongs which are of civil nature. And law of tort says whenever in case of liability, where there is a right, there is a remedy. Because as we all know, right without remedy is of no use. And it also says wherever there is a right, there is a duty as well. Because when you have a right, you also have a duty not to violate the right of the other person. If you do so, you will also be liable to pay damages, that is remedy to the other party. Now, in law of torts, it says it is wrongful to cause harm to other person. It means if you cause harm to any person through your wrongful act or omission, it is wrongful and you will be liable to pay damage to the injured person. That is the reason the law of tort is called the law of wrongs. So whenever you do a wrong, you are liable to pay damages. Now, as we all know in criminal jurisprudence, whenever there is a wrongful act or omission, which is also called as actus reus, it should be backed with mens rea or intention. So to make any person liable for his wrongful act or omission, to prove his mens rea is very necessary. But in law of torts, mens rea does not play any role. If you have caused any damage to the other person, even without intention, you are liable to pay damages. That's why it is called no fault liability. So under no fault liability, we have two important concepts: strict liability and absolute liability. Let us understand strict liability and absolute liability, and we'll also see difference between these two and also go through some case laws. Now, when it comes to strict liability, this is liability without fault. So it means even without your fault, if there is any damage or injury to the other person, you are liable to pay damages to such person. So strict liability is also known as rule of Raylands and versus Fletcher. So in this case, the rule of strict liability was evolved for the first time. Now, what happened in this case was Raylands had his mines in his property. Fletcher wanted to have mills in his property, and for this mills to run, he wanted a reservoir. So what he does, he hires an independent contractor to build this reservoir. So while doing so, they find certain mine shafts, mine shaft underground, and they ignoring that, they go ahead with the project and they build this reservoir. Now what happens, on one fine day, the water from this reservoirs enter the mine shafts of Reliance, and he suffers a huge loss due to this water which enters into his mines. And Reliance go to courts and plead that Fletcher should be held liable for this and he should be paid damages. Now, Fletcher takes a defense that the act was done by independent contractor, not by himself, so he should not be held liable. But court held that Fletcher is liable to pay damages to Reliance because of these conditions. So according to strict liability, the first condition is dangerous thing or non-natural use of your land. If you bring any dangerous thing on your land, or if you use your land for non-natural use, for example, if you bring some harmful chemical or harmful gas or dust into your land, and such chemical enters or escapes from your premises, and it enters and damages your neighbors or plaintiffs property, then there is a prima facie liability. You will be held liable and you will have to pay damages to such person. Now, as opposed to criminal law jurisprudence, in case of torts, especially in strict liability, the burden of proof will be on defendant to show that he had taken all necessary due care or he was not liable for such damages. Otherwise, he will be held liable. Now, every law or act or doctrine has its own exceptions, so has strict liability also has its own exceptions. The first exception being plaintiff's fault. If plaintiff himself has contributed to such an act, if he has done something which caused damage to him, then the defendant cannot be held liable. For example, the famous case in Ponting versus Noakes, what happens is plaintiff's horse enters a property of the defendant where there were some poisonous trees and it eats that leaves and it dies, and where plaintiff claims damages for losing his horse, but court clearly says that the dangerous thing, that is the poisonous tree, which was within the premises of the defendant, it never escaped from such premises, hence he will be not held liable. Now the second important exception is act of God. Act of God, for example, earthquake, very heavy rains, volcano, etc. In that case, you will not be held liable because it is out of your control. A famous case is Nichols versus Marshland, where there was an artificial lake in defendant's land due to very heavy rainfall, which was unnatural and unexpected. Such water enters the land of plaintiff and it causes damages, and court held that because it was act of God, the defendant will not be held liable. The third important exception is stranger's fault. If any stranger causes damage to the plaintiff and the defendant is able to show that he has taken all the due care necessary, then he will not be held liable. The fourth important exception is voluntary non-fit injuria or mutual benefit. Mutual benefit, where both parties are aware of the risk involved and they get into any contract or any business, etc. Either person will not be held liable. The best example for this is sports. For example, you take a sword fight, boxing, or even if you go to watch a cricket match where a person is injured when he is hit by a ball or something, you will not be held liable because you are voluntarily knowing the danger you have entered into such arena. Now next and final exception is statutory authority. For example, if statutory authority is and involved, there will be no damages paid because, for example, building of roads, construction of bridges, etc., it is a matter of public good and public policy. The statutory authority will be not held liable in the course of such authority if something is done. Now, let us understand a very important case law to arrive at the next stage of our discussion, so that it is very easy for us to understand. That is the case of MC Mehta versus in MC Mehta versus Union of India. It is a very important case because this is where the concept of absolute liability was the first time used in India. What happens here is a company called Union Carbide in Bhopal They are into manufacturing of pesticides and other chemicals, and in that process they were using a chemical called MIC, that is methyl isocyanate, which which leaked into the atmosphere of Bhopal, which is also called as famously Gopal gas tragedy. Almost 40 tons of such chemical was released into the atmosphere, and it almost killed 3,000 members and injured around 40,000 of them, and also disabled permanently disabled around 3,000 members. Hence, this was a huge case when it comes to absolute liability, where court evolved the doctrine of absolute liability, and it gave certain conditions where such this absolute liability can be applied. The first condition of absolute liability is there should be enterprises. The first condition is there should be an enterprises. Such enterprises is involved hazardous activity. This enterprises is involved in hazardous activity, and no escape is required. Like here in strict liability, here no escape is required. It is enough if it is involved in hazardous activity and any damage is caused within its premises to any employees, even they can make the enterprises liable. And when it comes to quantum of damages, such damage shall be equal to the size of the enterprises. So this is the rule of absolute liability, where a enterprises is involved in inherently hazardous activity or process, and no escape of such hazardous chemical or thing is required here. It is only enough to prove that if there was some damages, then such damages will be allowed to be paid, and quantum will be of damages will be equal to the size of the enterprises. Now, it is very important to understand the difference between strict liability and absolute liability. So, strict liability, absolute liability. Now, the first difference is strict liability talks about personal damages, that is damage caused by a person and his personal liability, where absolute liability talk about an enterprises, where an enterprises is involved. And when it comes to strict liability, there are certain exceptions which are given to the defendant, which we discussed, but in case of absolute liability there are no exception. That's why it is called absolute liability, where you are absolutely liable without any defense which is allowed to you. Only thing we have to prove is that there is some damages. Now here generally the damages are paid or awarded or as per the injury inflicted. Here the damages will be awarded as per the injury inflicted, that is as per the amount of injury which has been inflicted among the person. But here the damages will be quantum of damages will be equal to the size of the enterprises. So the bigger the enterprises, the damages will be higher. So that is the main advantage of rule of absolute liability. And another important difference is the concept of strict liability was declared in Raylands versus Fletcher case, and concept of absolute liability came in MC Mehta case. MC Mehta case. So it is very simple. Strict liability is applied. It's a liability without fault, and absolute liability is strict liability which is imposed without any exception. So that is what is important difference between strict liability and absolute liability. So my dear friends, today we have understood what is strict liability and absolute liability. We have also seen some important case laws and exceptions when it comes to strict liability, and we have understood what is absolute liability, and we have also seen certain difference between strict and absolute liability. And if you have understood the concept of strict and absolute liability, please share this video with your friends and subscribe to my channel and also like my videos. Thank you.